nailed routine. So we have a lot of difficulty coming up, and it's important to get through these middle routines in a very, very nice way.
She, I thought, did a super job on bars when it counted, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. One of my favorite pieces. That is showing judges how a double pike salto should be done. That's as nice as you'll ever see.
Deborah's 16, a gymnast, East Hanover, New Jersey.
She's doing a nice job of distributing her elements. They're distributed through the exercise. She's showing nice tumbling, then she comes back with nice leap, nice turn, nice body movement. She's showing everything that should be seen in floor exercise. That is a little problem with control. It's the first small flaw I've seen, and the double salto, the second tumbling pass, small flaw.
What a clutch performer. This is exactly what her team needed.
Yeah.
She did the same thing as you said on bars. She's really, really someone you want on your team because she can come out after a mistake and do a great job.
She's the guy that you like to have in 5th place on the Olympic team when you go to the Olympics, as like Bart did for Kurt Thomas in 1978. Sort of that nice, stable, superior performance.
They're going to be very pleased with that routine, I'll tell you that.
It was very nice.
And the crowd responds. The team goes all the way on the floor to embrace.
But again, she was being very careful to make sure it was good. She's another gymnast that if she told the judges it was as hard as it is, probably would benefit from scores. She almost says it's too simple. Here's back handspring. I think we're going to be looking at the
opening
first one. Yes.
Double back. That's beautiful.
Notice a totally stretched body before the pike, and pike double saltos are very hard to land. She's very aware of the floor.
As I said earlier, I don't think Reggie Jackson would try something like this, do you?
I hope not. It is size.
You might laugh at us with a baseball in our hand now.
9.4.
She certainly took a little of the pressure off of Joyce, don't you think, with that routine?
I definitely think that she did, but she set the environment for Joyce, too, so that it will help Joyce get a higher score. One of the things that psychologically happens, as we know, if there's an 8-7, it's hard to get a 9-9 next.
Sanja Knapp.
If I hadn't practiced and could do that vault, I'd be really proud of myself. Nice job. Look how, you know, she had some problems coming onto the horse. She went a little bit around the side. Most gymnasts, when that happens, what do? They separate their legs, but not Sanja. They're still pretty much together. What beautiful form this little girl has. Every now and then you'll see a competitor who, no matter what happens, if they fall, they still fall to the ground with good form. She seems to be one of them. Bart was one of them. It's really lovely to see. What concentration.
That doesn't always soften the fall, both psychologically or physically, but it certainly
no. But it's the art.
It's
the perfection you're looking for. Not as good as the first one. Not anywhere near as good. So whatever the first score will do for her, I think, again, it's going to be in the 9-5 range. Her injury, by the way, is to the lower middle back, right, Paul?
Right.
So if her ankle now hurts, that's new.
Yeah. You can probably see on the landing, she's coming in. She's
a little short.
Short and off to the right side, so it's bound
some more
to hurt
strain on one leg than the other. Same vault, I think, again. Here we see the mistake where she's a little under on our side, which puts all of the weight on to the right side.
And the score, 9.60. Oh, this is going to be close.
This is going to be a very close meet.
Burke's had trouble in the first 3 events at various places, but vaulting was a great event for them. Most of their scores were right around 9-5, so
you know
that's going to help a lot.
Is that last year I thought they could have won this meet if they had been better in vaulting. It looks like they practiced all year to fix that problem, and now they have to go home and say, well, if we'd done everything well as vaulting, we would have won if they happened to lose. I think everybody's still in the running.
Nadia Mason with the Marva teens on the bars.
She's got the kind of body that when you look at it, you say it's made to swing this event. She has gorgeous compression in her staller position. She is a swinger. This is the first person who's sort of stalling at the top.
Oh.
Ooh, that's too much stall, and she should have known how to cover that. That's a shame. That is a shame.
And you had one of the greatest stalder workers that we've ever seen. The world champion Marcia Frederick was in your gym.
I'm very proud of, as you are.
Had the same body type, a beautiful body position.
And who pretty much invented women being able to do this skill. It had long been in men's gymnastics on horizontal bar, but not done by women. And in fact, I would say Marcia won her gold medal in the World Championships because she could do the Stalder. It's a shame because she's such a lovely gymnast. They had such a good chance in the meet. And she's so good on bars.
Right.
I don't know what hurts more, to miss your worst thing or your best thing. But this is the kind of thing that you replay in your mind for quite a while afterward. And
well, let's take another look.
that's a Stalder.
Stalder.
And
this
here,
is where she had the problem right after this. Up to the handstand, and she wants to go on over, and she can't. She turns.
you know,
and,
when they bury their heads that way, that is called a cover. That's hoping to get you back. One of the things that I think's happened in our country recently is that the children before they should. I think if she would have stayed where she was, she'd probably pulled it out. I think she thought she was in worse shape than she was. 8.8.
8.8. That was just a tough break for her and her team. You know, could be the difference. But the girl came back strong. She certainly was disappointed. She went over. She came back and finished like a champion nonetheless.
A proud champion.
Robin Fiedeline.
If they have Robin up this late, this means Robin is going to be pretty good on this event. Now, people look at smaller children and they say how hard it is for them to do gymnastics. To be fair to the bigger children, the bigger disadvantage is to be large. And on balance beam, a little scary to be that high in the air when you're this tiny, but the beam becomes bigger to the foot and to the body. So some of the youngsters can really do some terrific things. She's not worried about falling. She has that kind of look Nadia had. She's worried about getting on with this. Very good intensity.
Robin Fiedeline with the Gym Cats.
Lovely rhythm. We are now seeing somebody work along at a pace that doesn't show fear. Her series with flight, not a deduction. So she's fine. Notice again that we had a little miss on what? The easy part.
That's right.
Which is what experience is supposed to teach you about balance beam. You can see the padding on the inside of her foot. That's probably because she puts the inside of her foot along the balance beam somewhere along the line. Again, she's keeping a really nice pace moving.
But it's exactly what you predicted here. The choreography is well done. The gymnasts have been trained well on beam, and to finish on beam can be a real bad experience for you. But these girls are using it to their advantage. I think it shows very, very good coaching and really nice choreography, nice presence of the gymnast.
Really, and she's getting ready for a dismount. I think she may be through this. I don't think any other team in the country would stand up to balance beam being the last event as well as a team coached by Maureen. That was a super job. Unless it would be a college team.
6 for 6.
It's wonderful.
Now, while waiting for the score, we're going to be watching Joyce Wilborn next on the floor. And I think by this time, with all, as we watch the replay of all the tips that you've both passed on, you've been superb, Uriel Grossfeld and Paul Zert. Let's see if the audience now, who have now become experts, will sort of bow out and we'll let them watch and listen and see how they think of the Joyce Wilborn routine, which is coming up next. First, though, we're going to get the score right here, because this could be a big moment.
They're just sliding it in 9. It's a low score. It's not as good as it could have been. Again, they don't seem to be getting a judging break at balance beam.
Not at all.
And I can understand the score. It's not that it's not understandable, but when you in gymnastics, each one should be scored just for itself, they say. But what it boils down to is there are a lot of people in a meet, and it is comparative. No matter what anybody wants to say, you are comparing one person to another. Their scores didn't compare as favorably as they might have.
Okay, let's watch now Joyce Wilborn of the North Stars.
And Joyce has the reputation of doing the most difficulty you can possibly do in a exercise routine, so this could be a very exciting performance.
Our cameraman, I think, is maybe just a shade too close in the corner. There's a little concern over in the North Stars corner that he might, if she steps back. So we're going to have to get a little further distant picture of Joyce, I think. All I'm saying is you're lucky we have the camera people, because otherwise you would all get stiff necks from looking upward.
Here we go. And approaching very, very soon now, the winning totals and the winning team. A lot will depend on this. Let's watch.
same as last year.
That was magnificent. That was magnificent. Again.
No one has done a full twisting double back salto for a last pass. Correct me because I wasn't prepared for this, but I think probably Mukina.
Well, no, Szabo did at the Olympics in '84. We were amazed by that. What an incredible display.
And you can hear the response of the crowd.
I overlooked Szabo too easily, I guess, because of the flat feet and stuff, and you're right.
Okay.
That would be two in history.
Here's the replay, so let's take a look.
I think this is the first time.
Yes. She did the front step out into it so she can do the last pass of the pull-in.
Magnificent. And the score, 9.0.
Again, I have to say the same thing I said after Corinne Wright's exercise. Joyce had better form than Szabo did. And it's a shame that you can't get sometimes the same rewards you get in Olympic competitions. I would have bent for a 9.9 even with the double turn.
Joyce had a 9.8 in the vault and a 9.8 in the floor tonight.
That's great. These are two of her best events, and she showed those off very nicely in the competition. Beautiful tumbling, moved nicely. The composition was beautiful. The music selection, all the things you want to see in a great floor exercise routine, she showed it all. I'm sure that iced away the all-around for her, and she's very pleased with that. This is the thing that most girls work to do for their first pass. And after dancing for a minute 10 or a minute 20, she does that difficult move. Beautifully done.
Better than most people do it for the first pass. In fact, I'll go further. She does it better than most men do it in the first pass.
I won't argue with that.
Awfully good tumbling.
I won't argue with that.
The ultimate.
Well, men are stronger. I am not going to argue with that. But all of the girls in this competition could not be doing what they're doing at this level without having a high talent level. I think that she is one of these 1 out of a million in terms of talent, concentration, and ability. We're looking at a very, very special human being. I think Corinne is also in that class, right?
Well,
and hopefully Sonja.
Right.
Earlier, we told you that you'll be looking at some young ladies who can do things that some of the great athletes of our country in other sports can't do, and I think we've proved that conclusively. Right now, the judges are giving their final computation, and then we'll get the computer printout and know which team will win. All of these teams were magnificent. So it's going to be a little disappointing to come in 2, 3, and 4, but they can be very proud they're in that Final Four. But one will be the winner, and what a climax we've seen to this event, to this gymnastics championship. And Muriel Grossfeld and Paul Zert, I know that you've shared a very emotional and exciting evening. We'll be back with our final comments and the winner. First, this word.